Our mind often thinks that the best possible thing we could experience in this moment is only the recreation of the best thing that has ever happened to us. So, if you're not actively working to expand what you think is possible, you're creating your own glass ceiling that you're never going to transcend. What is up, my fellow dreamers and soul searchers? Welcome to the Roxy Talks Manifestation Podcast, your raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic source for all things manifestation related. I'm Roxy Lee, and for the last decade, I have been researching and developing my signature 360 method, which combines behavioral science, quantum physics, and the law of attraction to help you manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams. Visit Roxytalks.com for more info. Now, let's get into it. What is up, my fellow dreamers and soul searchers? Welcome to another episode of Roxy Talks, where we discuss confidence, mindset, manifestation, and more. I'm Roxy Lee. I'm a mindset coach, and I'm here to help you banish your negative thinking and limiting beliefs so you can bring love, clarity, and joy into your life. This week, I'm really excited to talk about a book that I really loved by a person that I follow and I talk about a lot here on the podcast and on Mindset Monday. That's my live stream chat. If you have not previously joined, come check us out on YouTube on Monday afternoons PST. Any hoodles. This person, Kyle Cease, you've probably heard me talk about him a lot. I love Kyle. He just has a really great way of expressing information and opening you up spiritually and showing you how to love yourself, really. And again, I've talked about him a lot before. For some reason, I've always been drawn to Kyle, even back in like whenever it was late 90s, early 2000s, when he was in a couple seminal coming of age movies for people that were in high school at that time, which me. And for some reason, I read like an article about him in like a teen magazine at the time, and I don't know why, but I always just felt drawn to him. And I didn't even realize for a while, I guess, until recently, that he was in the motivational space. So now I listen to him a lot. I'm actually a member of his monthly community, and I read his book, and I'm always suggesting it. And now it's our book club of the Now book. It's our book club of the Now book, The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. And one thing I really want to point out about this book is that this isn't really like a money book. It's not a whole lot about money. It's more about the concept of worth that is required to naturally magnetize money towards you and to accumulate and amass wealth energetically, if that's what you seek. But most importantly, getting to the core of who you are and finding out what you're really about, what you really are as a soul and a human being, and what real purpose is. And it doesn't really have anything to do with chasing money or chasing dreams or chasing success or anything like that. It just has to kind of do with being who you are and loving who you are and accepting the now. So if you normally don't subscribe to money stuff, or you wouldn't necessarily pick up a money book, I still suggest you read this, because out of all the money books that I've read, and I kind of read, I read them all the time. This is the least about money book that I've read. And I mean that in obviously the best ways. So please get yourself a copy, kylecease.com. That's where I got mine. And I'm going to read a few excerpts from the book, as I do when I do our book reviews, and just kind of talk about how we can incorporate these concepts into our lives as manifestors. And I've actually talked about what I'm about to read here in a moment. Before in the podcast, I've talked about this idea that when you get your manifestation, let's say it's a relationship, when you get that person, you're not feeling love from them. They're not radiating love into your body. As I've said before, you're opening the valve to a flow, a steady stream of love that's already been flowing to you and always has been, always will be your whole life. So this section I'm about to read, page 16, is him talking about that very thing. He says, I've discovered that there is an awareness we can move to where we understand that we are the source of everything we've been looking for in money or an achievement or a job or a relationship or anything in the outside world that we believe will complete us in some way. When we're chasing something, we're not actually chasing the thing. We're chasing the experience and feeling that we think the thing will give us. What if you discover that you are actually the real source of those experiences and feelings that you are looking for externally? Those external things are just ways to give yourself permission to experience the feelings that are already inside of you. This is a huge thing to understand. For instance, if you found out that you had won the lotto a few seconds ago, you'd immediately experience all of these amazing feelings of excitement and freedom and abundance. Nothing has really happened so far. No money has changed hands. You don't yet have a butler named Albert who speaks in a British accent, even though he's from Fort Lauderdale. All you have is a mental excuse for why you can feel these feelings. Winning the lotto is just your excuse to allow yourself to access all of these feelings that were inside of you the entire time. If someone then told you that it was a joke and that you didn't really win the lotto, all of those feelings would immediately go away. Those feelings are possibilities that are always inside of you and are controlled completely by your perception and what you choose to believe. That means that you can allow yourself to experience all of those amazing feelings right now just by changing your perception of your situation. You don't need the external excuse. Kyle, beautifully written. So we talk about this a lot on the podcast, on the show, if you watch on YouTube. Everything that we're doing is about perception. Each one of us is operating this little mini vessel that's doing its own little version of Earth. You think that you're having the same interaction as the people around you or the same experience as the people you're interacting with. But in reality, each one of us has our own little version that's completely separate and operating within its own, I don't know, section. I don't know how it works, okay? I don't claim to know how it works. But this is just how I understand it. So if you can shed any ideas of what you're supposed to be or what you've been or what you should be or what this thing says you have to do and the steps that you're supposed to follow to get this and all this other noise that doesn't really describe you in any way that you like, that you've just subscribed to your whole life, or beliefs about what you can do or what's possible for a person like you or even on planet Earth, even, trying to expand beyond what you've ever thought is possible. The point is that everything that you want is already you now. There's not going to be some magical thing that you find that gives you something new. It's just going to be you turning that valve and letting that excitement, exuberance, exhilaration, enjoyment, love, whatever it is, flow in that moment. Or if you're lucky enough to learn how to just operate it without needing, like he said, an external excuse or a reason to turn it on, if you can just let it flow naturally, you don't need anything. You don't need anything. You don't need money. You don't need love. You don't need a person. You don't need success. You don't need an apartment. I mean, maybe you need shelter and food and air and water. But, and maybe, connection, obviously, as a human being, we want to be connected to others, but really you don't need anything once you realize that everything you want is already internally there, here, now. It's there. Nothing's going to change when you get the person or get the money or get the job, except you are going to decide that now is the time to feel better. Now is the time I can feel that way. I've been wanting to feel so bad that I've said that this thing has to happen until I will. Well, guess what? You can just feel it. Kyle C says so. It's not just me screaming at you every week, okay? Next section, page 96. Here he is talking about, this is where I was just kind of referencing the expansion, like thinking beyond what you've actually had so that you can get something different, okay? So again, page 96. He says, many of us are riding off of the momentum of what we did yesterday and allowing it to cut off the fresh, inspired desires that our heart has for us when we're open to possibilities. We're hoarding our history, storing it inside our nervous system, and chasing some past emotional high instead of allowing ourselves to be brand new in this moment and opening up to something bigger than we've experienced. Our mind often thinks that the best possible thing we could experience in this moment is only the recreation of the best thing that has ever happened to us. I'm going to read that again because I started this when I read it the first time. I was like, ooh, okay. Okay, Kyle. Okay, Kyle says, one more time. Our mind often thinks that the best possible thing we could experience in this moment is only the recreation of the best thing that has ever happened to us. So if you're not actively working to expand what you think is possible, you're creating your own glass ceiling that you're never going to transcend. I harp on meditating every day a lot. And by the way, we're talking about who you're following and who you're subscribing to. Kyle suggests an hour meditation every day. I'm over here suggesting a measly 15 minutes. And I know obviously that means I should step my game up. I do try to do, okay, I'm going to admit it. I'm going to be honest. I do try to do at least one day a week of 1 hour meditation. And then most days I do like a 15 to 30. But listen, daily meditation is life-changing. Whether you're doing it for an hour, which is so expansive, so filled with amazing information and revelation, downloads. I get crazy information and visuals. I see so much incredible stuff about the universe and where my soul came from and all this kind of shit. Just cool stuff. Meditation's like watching the coolest fucking show ever that just gives you any answer to any question you could think of. So I highly suggest it every single day. In the morning, if you can, before you pick up your phone, is my personal rule that I very much work every single day to abide by. But meditating every day helps you do what we're talking about, what Kyle's talking about here in the book, of expanding beyond what you thought was ever possible for you. And if you truly want to grow, and if you truly want to do something different and something bigger and be grand and make big changes in the world and touch the lives of a bunch of people or whatever it is that you're passionate about, you've got to be able to see beyond what you've already done. If I didn't believe in something that I couldn't see, we wouldn't be talking right now. Roxy Talks, that I just made that up. It wasn't a thing. I didn't go apply for this job and like, oh, your name's Roxy. Why don't you should be the CEO in the face of it. And then you should do all the fucking work for it. That didn't happen. I just made it up. I made it a thing. It's a business because I fucking said it was. And then I just kept saying it and I kept saying it and I haven't stopped saying it. And I got the legal stuff and I got my fucking like, it's a business. But the point was that if I just thought that I was only going to be able to do what I had done or what I had already seen, this conversation wouldn't be happening. I had to think beyond me and everything I knew. So meditate every day. It did start with that. Honestly, that like really helped change my life. And then I gave myself 30 days. I wanted to learn how to stop reacting to my world the same way. I was like, let me try to I literally was like, I want to stop being a bitch for 30 days. That was my first true goal of the whole thing. It ended up becoming the 30 days of alignment, which you can download for free at my website, roxytalks.com. But honestly, I just was trying to change what I was doing because I knew that I was doing the thing that was keeping me stuck. I could at least figure that out. I was smart enough to realize that it was me doing why am I still in this fucking pattern? So I just was like, okay, let me start trying to react different for 1 month. And then 6 days in, I was like, okay, this is something. So I just started recording what I was doing every day. And that became the challenge. It changed my life. I saw beyond anything I ever thought was possible for me. And we're still going. And let's keep going with Kyle too. So I'm moving on to page 97. He says, I'm not saying we need to delete all of our past experiences or throw out mementos we might have of people that we've loved, but mentally holding on to things that make us feel lack in this moment is stealing our abundance and isn't truly honoring those experiences and relationships. If you believe you're in lack because of a lost lover, a lost career, a lost bank account, or anything that you think you've lost, you cannot be abundant in this moment. It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much external abundance you might have around you. If you are reaching for something in the past that you think you need to be complete, you are blocking the experience of real abundance from coming through. You are an infinite being who has the capacity to receive on an incredible level, but you can't receive if that space is already filled with the belief of lack. Love you, Kyle. I really do. So I really liked the sentence. If you believe you're in lack because of a lost lover, a lost career, a lost bank account, or anything that you think you've lost, you cannot be abundant in this moment. And that's really important because I love you. As Esther Hicks would say, I love you so much. But I talk to a lot of you and a lot of us, all of us, I'm guilty of it too. I'm not trying to deny that I'm not just as much a part of this as you, but a lot of us are spending a lot of our thoughts. And remember, a thought, it's like a little ticket at Chuck E. Cheese, and you can exchange it for $1 billion. You can exchange it for a fucking eraser, and nobody cares. But if you don't understand, you can exchange it for $1 billion. You're just going to end up with a bunch of erasers, right? So when you're not using your thoughts, every single one, to exchange it for $1 billion thought or $1 trillion thought or a quadrillion dollar thought or a fucking infinite powerful thought, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what you're exchanging it for. You're not exchanging it for the highest that you could. You're not using that now moment, which is all we have. Now moment after now moment after now moment, creation after creation after creation. You're not using each one of those tickets or whatever, however you want to think of it, to buy the reality that you actually want to be in. You're using your tickets to buy old shit. And even if it is stuff that you had before that you want back, you need to consider it in a new way. If it's gone and I want it back, it's not here. And in this now moment, you're creating your future. So if in the now you're saying not here and you don't do something about that, when does it ever change? In what now moment do you finally say here? That's what I want everyone to realize. And that's what I want you to take away from this episode, is that if you don't start saying what I want is here now, in this now moment, and in the next now moment, and then the next now moment, and then the next now moment, and in that now moment when you look around and it's not fucking there, if you don't say it's here in all these now moments, it's not coming. It's not gonna be here. You are so infinitely powerfully creative that if you say it's not here, bitch, it's not here. No matter how bad you want it. The universe does not speak that linguity. It does not get that you want it so bad. All it hears is not here. That's it. So check out The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease and start understanding what you really are, what your real value is. If you understood how powerful you were, you'd be laughing at the silly things that you're consumed with right now. And I get it. Again, I understand. I'm a human. I get consumed with dumb bullshit too, but that's why I meditate every day. That's why I read books like this. This is why I listen to affirmations. That's why I create affirmations. That's why I make meditations. That's why I speak about this. This is why this is my job and my career, because I'm eat, sleep, breathing this. This is every day, all day, night and day commitment to doing whatever it takes to living as my best, most fuck yeah, man, self. Whatever I can do to just be as okay as possible in any given moment is the goal in life. That's the point of life. I think at this moment, as of today, right now, that's what I think. And I think that that's what Kyle is trying to explain as well. Just be okay however you can be. And if you're not okay, that's okay too. When you pick up your copy of The Illusion of Money, Why Chasing Money is Stopping You from Receiving It by Kyle Cease, and start checking it out, start reading it, please come to the forum on my website, roxytalks.com/forum, and talk to the community, leave some information, what you learned from the book on the forum chat message board about this book. and interact with your fellow manifestors. You can also find a manifestation buddy at the forum and connect with other people who are doing the same stuff you're doing. You can get advice from other people. You can also join my Facebook group, Black Moon Society. If you'd like me to coach you in one-on-one coaching, you can sign up at roxytalks.com. And if you don't want to wait to get on my calendar, I've got great courses and workshops that you can sign up for right now and get started on right away that will help you create and receive whatever life it is that you are working on. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. If you love it, maybe give it a 5-star review. Or not. You don't have to, but if you want to, that would be cool. And follow me on Instagram, TikTok, social medias, all that stuff. I appreciate you so much. I love you. We're all raising our vibrations together. You have the power. I believe in you. See you next week.